Welcome to Inside UNA Basketball. Here are your hosts, Coach Bobby Champagne and J.D. Byers.
Welcome to Inside UNA Basketball. Welcome in, everybody. J.D. Byers alongside the head coach of the University of North Alabama, Coach Bobby Champagne. Thanks for joining us here. The Lions had two at home, West Florida and then Valdosta State. You're going to see the highlights from a big win over the Blazers of VSU, that rivalry renewed at Flowers Hall. And a game really we didn't trail in except that opening free throw. Valdosta State 1-0 and then just in control the whole game.
Big game for us. We were coming off a loss with West Florida, and big game for us against Valdosta to get to 2-2 in the league. So it was good to see a lot of people in Flowers Hall. Our players played with a whole lot of energy and enthusiasm, and that showed throughout the game.
It was a win we needed to in the conference to get the Lions back to 500 at 2-2. We pick up the win, go to 9-6. But that conference race, just for those who don't understand, the Arkansas schools left. The Gulf South Conference now smaller. There's not an East-West division. Essentially, everybody's going to the conference tournament. But it's about seeding. It's about growing and developing and getting some confidence before you head down to Fort Walton.
Oh, definitely. There's 8 teams in the league, and you play 2 at home, 2 on the road. Sometimes you have 1 home, 1 road game, but it's really important to hold serve at home and see if you can steal a couple games on the road.
They had some height inside. Just talking about the matchups here, you'll get to the highlights after the commercial break in just a moment. Sidney Harris, though, was a great point guard who came in, and he got hot from three-point land. Constantly, it's a game of playing in spurts, 3 minutes here, 4 minutes there, and just trying to overcome things. It's easier in a televised game when you have a lot of TV breaks, but to play in those spurts and be able to make those changes and deal with somebody like Sidney Harris.
Yeah, we definitely had to adjust on the fly. We did a pretty good job of guarding their perimeter players and making it tough for them to dribble, penetrate, and knock down three-pointers. And then we also had to handle their inside guys with Alston and Sparks, and I thought we did a really good job of that. Our defensive effort throughout the game was what got us the win.
The win over Valdosta State at home got the Lions to 9-6. Coach, before we go to break, though, talking about some key players on the UNA side of that bench. Keenan Jackson, a guy who normally doesn't get on the board a whole lot, but he was all over the floor defensively, rebounds, assists, steals, and, of course, points.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes KJ's stats don't show up on the stat sheet because what he brings is a defensive presence and really puts a lot of pressure on the basketball. But in this game, he was also distributing the ball, getting it to scores, and doing a really good job. He played 34, 35 minutes, I think, and did not have a turnover and had 4 or 5 assists. So great game for him as the junior point guard for us.
He had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, even 3 steals in that, and played 34 minutes. And, of course, a dozen points would be the season high for the young man out of Alabaster, Alabama, Keenan Jackson, the point guard for the University of North Alabama. The win, 84-70. The Lions defeat the Blazers. You'll get to see the exciting highlights right after this break on Inside UNA Basketball.
Inside UNA Basketball is brought to you by Williams Cleaners and Ray Miller Buick GMC.
Hey folks, Cale Bragwell, Sales Manager, Ray Miller Buick GMC. At Ray Miller, we are your exclusive Carfax Advantage dealer. With a vehicle history report available on every car in stock, you can buy with confidence. Not only will we provide you with a vehicle history report on our vehicles, but if you're thinking about buying from another dealer or even an individual, we'll give you a report on that vehicle also. Right in front of Walmart, Ray Miller, come see us.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes. Please.
Hey, Daddy. Will you buy some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Each time I turn around.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
I hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
Whether it's purple and gold or any other color, Simpson's Body Shop now has 3 locations to help you get that damaged car repaired, painted, and back on the road. They're located at Cox Boulevard in Sheffield and Highway 72 in Killen and Broadway Street in Florence. Choose one and rest assured that you've chosen the right professionals for the job. 3 generations, 3 brothers, 3 locations since 1981. Simpson's is there for you 24 hours a day. For towing and repair, Simpson's gets it right the first time. The reputation of Simpson's Collision and Repair speaks for itself. Those Simpson boys say go Lions.
When I go to see my bank, they know me by name.
I go to a place with banking the way it should be.
My bank has convenience and great service.
I love that it's a community bank.
My bank says yes to lending.
Our bank is CB&S Bank.
It's banking the way it should be.
Welcome back to Inside UNA Basketball. J.D. Byers with head coach Bobby Champagne. Of course, we just mentioned before the break, it was an 84-70 win over Valdosta State in a series that's been going on for quite a while. We get the Blazers on our home court. We'll have to go down to their place a little bit later on in the year. That's one of those long road swings. We play West Florida and don't come home in between those trips. But so when you get a team like Valdosta on your home court, it's key to get a win.
Oh, definitely key to get wins at home. Especially, and talk about that trip to Valdosta in West Florida. That is the toughest road trip in the league. Not only the distance, but the two teams that you're playing on that trip. So it's good to get a win against Valdosta at home. We definitely have to win all of our home games in the Gulf South Conference.
The Lions would have 3 in double digits scoring on the night against Valdosta State. Theron Jenkins, 24 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double for the senior out of Flowood, Mississippi. 16 for Warwick Maston, 12, as we mentioned before the break. Keenan Jackson, a breakout game for that young man. We shot 50% in the first half, though. Being on our home courts, familiar goals, it was good to see those shots going in.
Definitely. We executed our offense well, got good shots, and players were knocking those shots down. A lot had to do with the point guard play, putting the ball at the right spot and getting guys in the right position. You have to make the shot. You know, you can set it all up and get it in the right spot, but you still have to put the ball into the hoop, and we did a good job of that. I think we had 8 3-pointers on the night, so we've been averaging around 9. Good offense that night.
8 3-pointers meant buy one, get one free at Frostbite. 7 of those. Come to UNA games, get your game program. We hit 7 3-pointers, take it on down, you get the buy one, get one free at Frostbite. 8 of 24 from three-point land. 5 of those would be hit in the first half. Let's get into those opening half highlights. UNA versus Valdosta State. Playing at home at Flowers Hall, historic Flowers Hall. Proud home of champions. That's Valdosta State, of course, in the red. UNA wearing the home whites.
Good crowd. Definitely a good crowd. We opened up the baseline bleachers. Theron Jenkins knocks down the 3 right there on an out-of-bounds play. Good screen by the guard to get him open. And we're doing a pretty good job of executing our half-court offense. Work with a big shot. Senior from Muscle Shoals has really been playing well once league play has started.
1 of 2 3-pointers for Warwick Maston. You talked about the crowd. 1,261 on hand for UNA versus the Blazers of VSU.
Beaumont Beasley coming off a pretty good weekend. He was player of the week in the Gulf South Conference. Teams are really keen on him, so we've got to do a good job of reversing the basketball, getting it from one side to the other, and there's KJ driving it to the hole, which he's really capable of doing. He's got some quickness and some speed, and we need more of that as we head into the later stages of the conference play.
UNA working back on offense. You mentioned Beaumont a minute ago. Below his average, he had 9, almost in double digits. Played 34 minutes. 3 assists, though. Came up with 3 steals. There's Nick Luttrell with some good touch from about 10 feet out.
Definitely need our post players. Nick, Theron, Sam, Luke, Lazar. Those guys need to do a much better job of scoring inside and getting more rebounds. So we're going to try and concentrate on that as well, where we're getting the ball inside of those guys.
Wes Long has come off the bench for UNA in the game. He had a 3-pointer. Very good from the free throw line on the night. Wes Long, 6 of 6, and Theron Jenkins gets us on the board. And a steal. Good hustle out between the circles.
That was big for us. The turnovers creating offense for us. We scored a number of points off of our defense, and that was one of those plays where we just get out in the passing lane and you get an easy basket that way. And we need more of that as well. UNA
leading by 6 right here, about 7 minutes into the first half.
Our points off of turnovers in this game was 21. That spot right there looks to be Warwick's favorite spot in this game, right there on that left wing.
That goal on that end has recently been changed, and now I understand we're going to be changing the goal on the other end. They have historically been pretty forgiving. Now Wes Long from dead on doesn't seem to be phasing him at all and drains a 3 from dead on.
Now they needed to change those rims out. They had some screws that were broken in them, and then Lazar broke one the other day while he was dunking in warm-up. So it's a home court. They're 10 feet, and the hoops are the same size everywhere. So nice hustle on defense, and Spear picks up a nice one and dumps it off to Beaumont.
Theron Jenkins, just before that, a 3-point play, got the and one. He was 3 of 5 from the free throw line. And Beaumont Beasley, very unselfishly, no slam dunk, just puts it in, gets the safe 2 points.
He was real tired. You see him calling for a sub there, and he plays with a whole lot of energy. Nice basket there by Spear. really need to get him going as conference play goes, because he can score the basketball.
Adelaide, Australia is where Nathan Spears from. You'll learn more about him coming up in just a few moments on the show during our Lions Lair segment, brought to you by CB&S Bank. And what a good touch on a turnaround fadeaway bank. Sam Buxton off the glass.
Sam was practicing very well the week before the West Florida Valdosta, and took advantage of it in this game. Really played well in this basketball game.
When the bigs put that ball on the floor and our little guys are around, there's a good opportunity and a good chance we're going to come up with a turnover. And right there, Keenan Jackson, Beaumont Beasley with a great hustle, one with a steal, the other with the layup.
That was nice. The circus shot there by Warwick. We get the ball up in transition. It helps when you rebound the basketball, and that's what we were doing early. We were giving Valdosta one shot, rebounding it, and getting it and going.
Sidney Harris with a rare miss right there. He had 21 to lead Valdosta State, 21 points, 5 rebounds. He had 4 3-pointers on the night. Keenan Jackson scoring back on the other end.
Another transition basket. We got a number of those, and it came off of us right here. You rebound the basketball, you give them one shot, and now it's 3-on-3. We do a nice job of kicking it out, and Theron comes up with it there. The transition baskets were huge for us in this first half.
And really an opportunity for Warwick to hit another 3-pointer. Everybody does a good job staying in their lanes in transition. Nobody bunches up, and usually a guy's wide open on the wing. Warwick mashed in some 3-pointers in the first half. He'd go 2 of 6 from beyond the perimeter. But here, fortunate, we go into the locker room with the lead.
We go up in the locker room up 6. The conversation in the locker room was, hey, in our last ball game, the first 5 minutes of the second half, we didn't do a very good job of coming out of the locker room and executing. So we were going to pay close attention to the execution on both ends of the floor as we came out of the first half. A
little different conversation you had with your players than Terry Fowler had with his women. The game just before this, it's worth mentioning here, they fell behind, came out with a halftime deficit, and behind 8 in the second half, came back and took it to overtime and got a win over Valdosta State. 2 great wins against West Florida and Valdosta State for Coach Terry Fowler and the women. Right now it's at intermission. The Lions in the locker room up by 6 over Valdosta State, and they'd get the win 84-70. Second half highlights in just a moment here on the program. When we come back, though, it's the Lions Lair segment, and we'll have a sit-down interview. Today, you get to meet Nathan Spear, the freshman out of Adelaide, Australia, a new member to the UNA Lion basketball squad, the guard. That's coming up next on Inside UNA Basketball.
Inside UNA Basketball is brought to you by Williams Cleaners and Ray Miller Buick GMC.
Hi folks, I'm Vic Ragsdale, new car sales manager at Ray Miller Buick GMC. I want to tell you about the 2012 Buick LaCrosse with the all-new e-Assist engine. This vehicle achieves 36 miles per gallon on the highway, 25 miles per gallon in town, which makes this vehicle the most fuel-efficient sedan in its class. Come see us at Ray Miller Buick GMC, 246 Cox Creek Parkway.
We're the Glenn family, and everyone at CB&S Bank knows our name.
When we wanted to add on to our house because we needed more space, CB&S Bank said yes to our loan.
As a community bank, they care about our community and helping it grow.
Now that's banking the way it should be.
Hey, Rick and Tony Valentino here, urging you to come to Flowers Hall this year and support Bobby Champagne and the UNA Lions basketball team in their quest for a Division II national championship. Catch all the action and the excitement. Hey, UNA basketball! That's what I'm talking about!
Me and my buddies support Little Steve's because Little Steve supports UNA. Look at this, you can't beat this line pride.
I shop at Little Steve's because the people are always real nice and they got my favorite water.
I love Little Steve's because it's near campus and they take the main card.
And I love Little Steve's because he supports our team, so we like to support Little Steve's.
I support Little Steve's because Little Steve's supports us.
I support Little Steve's because I believe in family-owned businesses, and Little Steve's is one of the remaining few in the area.
UNA loves Little Steve's!
Welcome back to the show. It is time for the Lions Lair segment. You get to meet one of the UNA basketball players, a new face on the team this year. You It's kind of familiar now, though. We've got half the season over. Nathan Spear out of Australia. Number 11. Nathan, welcome into the program. We got to ask you, though, how you got to the University of North Alabama. Understand you know a former player.
Yeah, Phil Collins used to play at the university. He actually told me about it, and I contacted Coach, and yeah, just went from there.
Out of Adelaide, Australia. Did I say that right? Adelaide, Australia?
Yeah, that's right.
Gleason High School. You actually took a year off, though, so you're back in college here and a great impact for the University of North Alabama playing point guard. Where's number 11? Talk about your roommate, though, another guy from down under, but not Australia, Luke Corkery.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand, so it's sort of close to where I'm from. It's good, sort of feels at home in our apartment.
I'm sure you guys get along great.
Yeah, we do.
Phil Collins, a former player at the University of North Alabama. A lot of folks remember him as well from Australia. Off the basketball court, let's talk about your major, fitness management. I know you may have aspirations to be a trainer one day. What do you want to do with a degree like that?
Yeah, I'm really interested in all the physical stuff like personal training. So I want to be a personal trainer and then hopefully open my own gym while down the track.
It's an important part of athletics, and we wish you all the best on that. Let's talk about on the court, coming in as a newcomer. Had some guys back from last year, Keenan Jackson, Beaumont Beasley, but you've stepped up and you get considerable playing time, already a three-point threat. Talk about your contribution to the team.
I just try to come in, do what I can, shoot the three, try to drive to the basket, get everyone else involved. Just try to bring what I've learned back home over here.
Well, our guest here is Nathan Spear, point guard for the University of North Alabama in his first year out of Adelaide, Australia. Good luck going forward. Glad to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Nathan Spear, that's part of this week's Lions Lair segment. We'll get back to the show. More basketball highlights from the game when we come back.
Inside UNA Basketball is brought to you by Williams Cleaners and Ray Miller Buick GMC.
Daddy, can I get a puppy, please?
Okay, Sammy. It's bedtime.
Oh, 10 more minutes, please.
10 more.
Yes.
Please. Hey, Daddy. Will you buy some alcohol for my party tonight? We'll be right here at the house. You can even take the keys. Please?
Absolutely not.
Each time I turn around.
Never let me have anything.
Don't be a pushover.
I hate you.
Be a parent. Prevent. Don't provide alcohol to minors.
Whether it's purple and gold or any other color, Simpson's Body Shop now has 3 locations to help you get that damaged car repaired, painted, and back on the road. They're located at Cox Boulevard in Sheffield and Highway 72 in Killen and Broadway Street in Florence. Choose one and rest assured that you've chosen the right professionals for the job. 3 generations, 3 brothers, 3 locations since 1981. Simpson's is there for you 24 hours a day. For towing and repair, Simpson's gets it right the first time. The reputation of Simpson's Collision and Repair speaks for itself. Those Simpson boys say go Lions.
Hey, Rick and Tony Valentino here, urging you to come to Flowers Hall this year and support Bobby Champagne and the UNA Lions basketball team in their quest for a Division II national championship. Catch all the action and the excitement. Hey, UNA basketball! That's what I'm talking about!
Me and my buddy support Little Steve's because Little Steve supports UNA. Look at this, you can't beat this line pride.
I shop at Little Steve's because the people are always real nice and they got my favorite water.
I love Little Steve's because it's near campus and I take the main card.
And I love Little Steve's because he supports our team, so we like to support Little Steve's.
I support Little Steve's because Little Steve's supports us.
I support Little Steve's because I believe in family-owned businesses, and Little Steve's is one of the remaining few in the area.
UNA loves Little Steve's!
Welcome back to Inside UNA Basketball. Hope you enjoyed that segment there, the Lions Lair presented by CB&S Bank, focusing on you for over a century. Nathan Spear, a young man from Australia, and kind of good news is he's got some family. We're able to come into town, watch him play on the road and at home.
Yeah, his grandmother's in town, and it's good to have his grandmother here, a freshman. Sometimes they go through the ups and downs and through the season, and it's tough being as far away from home, so it's good that his grandmother's here visiting and able to see us play some games. Happy to have a freshman like him in our program. We were fortunate to get him, and I think he's going to really develop over his 4 years here.
It's beneficial how you get maybe one player from a region, another state, or another country, and it starts to lay some groundwork. We had Phil Collins here from Australia, turned out to be a good student athlete, and they kind of knew each other.
Yeah, Phil's been helping us a little bit. He's working over in the Northwest Territory in charge of the basketball there, so sees a lot of players during their junior Olympic type games, and Nathan was one of those guys that he saw and alerted us about him, and so we got on it and recruited him, and really happy that he's here. Those ties you talk about, you have them. We had a few players from Louisiana with Fraze and Kenny Johnson and Isaac Gay. You just kind of go through those stages where you get players from different areas, and you know, we've got a kid from Australia, Macedonia, Gibraltar, and New Zealand. So hopefully we can develop those recruiting ties. At the half, the Lions were leading Valdosta State, the Blazers, by 6. A recap of the first half, we hit 5 3-pointers. We'd had 3 more in the second half, shot 50% over the first 20 minutes. Let's talk about the game plan you set in the locker room for the second half to continue to do what we do, but also expect some changes from Valdosta State. Yeah, definitely. The first 5 minutes of the half, we wanted to set the tone, and it was important for us to really go out and defend their perimeter players. Will Alston was a kid that had a big second half against UAH 2 nights before, so we wanted to be sure that we weren't allowing them to get their perimeter play or their inside game going, and I thought we did a pretty good job of that while continuing to put pressure on them and cause turnovers to get some transition baskets. Let's get into those second half highlights again at Flowers Hall. We lead by 6, going to win this one 84-70. UNA on the offensive side here to get things started in the second half. Always good to get off to a good start and execute, and here we are running a play. We go inside to Theron Jenkins, and you know, he's got a nice turnaround jump shot, trying to get him to be as aggressive as possible on both ends of the floor. Just underway here, we still lead by 6, about 2.5 into it. In transition, the Lions trying to push hard. They've got the numbers, but Beaumont Beasley finds a way to find a crease, gets all the way to the rim, a little double clutch for 2. Again, it's one of those one shot and out. This one here is a turnover that leads to a basket. You got a little Euro step there by KJ, and it's always good when you can finish in transition. Switches hands in midair, and Keenan Jackson, part of his dozen on the night, 4 assists, 5 steals. Pulls 7 rebounds, Keenan does, 4 defensively, and a dish inside, the assist, and the slam dunk by Theron Jenkins. Need to get Theron scoring more like that, and we need to do a better job of getting it inside to both he and him and the other post players. We've got the lead and the jacket's off. What's up with that? It was a little warm in Flowers Hall, all those people in the afternoon. You know, here's an adjustment that teams are making on us. They're putting a bigger player on KJ and then backing off of him, and that's what he needs to do. Get in that paint, force help, and then kick it back out, or get all the way to the basket and score it. Theron Jenkins, 50% from the arc. Downtown, he hit 3 of 6, 24 points on the night. And, of course, you know, Beaumont Beasley well below his average at 9. That leaves folks open on the perimeter like that. Definitely need to get open for open shots like this right here and get it inside out. That's a great job right there. Whether Nick makes that shot or not, it's good offense. The fadeaway gives him the separation and the basket over Will Alston. He had a big game against us last year down at their place. Alston exploded. We held him to 9 points, though, at our place. He did pull 9 rebounds, playing 26 minutes. Didn't ever really get in foul trouble. Good steal right there where we force it, and West does a good job of pitching ahead. Another transition basket off of Valdosta State's turnovers. If we can continue to do that throughout league play, we're going to be in great shape. Again, 1,261, and a big part of it, the student section showed up back in class. There's a jumper. Nathan Spear misses with the putback. Warwick Maston, he can hang up around that rim forever. Student section, though, can really bring a lot to a basketball game. Student section was there. You don't get to see it because of they're right here on the same side, right behind our bench and right behind the visitors' bench, and they were definitely into the basketball game, and we need them to come each and every night. Just walk across the street and come into Flowers Hall. They're always giving something away. They were giving away pizza and a $100 gift card to somewhere in town. So you need those kinds of things as a student. Just before that, you saw the basket from Tyler Richardson, the former Shocker from Wichita State, the Huntsville, Alabama native. This time it's Theron Jenkins getting back on the board, but Tyler Richardson comes off the bench, gets 3 points, and played only 2 minutes. Yeah, Tyler came off the bench, did a good job. Our bench play is going to be key for us as well as we get into conference play. You have to develop some depth, and you we've got some good young players sitting over there next to me, so those guys have got to get better and better every day.
A situation here of looking at a lead and looking at the clock, trying to kill some time. Beaumont Beasley sits out. We spread them in the corners, waiting for them to attack, and the Lions going to get an 84-70 win, a big part of that late free throws. We were solid from the free throw line.
That was a big shot right there. We ran probably 20, 25 seconds off the shot clock before Beaumont went in there and penetrated, and then Warwick does a good job of finishing it. We needed to get that rebound right there and not give up another shot. It's a good job by our guys late in the game to finish it out. We had a lead. Valdosta led 1-0. We led the other 39 minutes. Late in the game, we're up 10 or 11, and we really did a good job of milking the clock and getting the shots we wanted.
Our largest lead was 5 minutes of the second half. We go up by 15, win it by 14, 84-70 to pick up the victory. And it gets us back to 500 on the year, so a key time. But 2 quality wins here at this point. We've beaten West Georgia at their place. They were ranked. They were 13-2 at the time. And now getting Valdosta State at our place. They were coming off a loss, and they did not want to get swept on the road. They'd already been beaten by the Chargers in Huntsville at Spraggins Hall. So the deck was stacked against us, but we still win.
It definitely was. We needed a win. Our backs were against the wall after Thursday's game, but we did what we needed to get back to 500, and now we just need to build on that win and continue improving as we get into January and February and head to that Gulf South Conference tournament in Niceville, Florida.
The win gets us to 9-6 on the year, 2-2 in the Gulf South Conference. That conference tournament, by the way, no longer at the DeSoto Civic Center over in South Haven, just south of Memphis. It's now down in Niceville. Smaller arena. At Fort Walton. It's going to be a very, very modern type arena, though, a little bit smaller, but it's going to fit our fans, the people from the Gulf South Conference, the teams, and the facilities will be wonderful.
Oh, it'd be great. It's in a great location. It's a beautiful facility. It's brand new. It's right there near the beach. I think our fans need to look into that first weekend in March and getting some hotel rooms and plan on spending the weekend to see both the men and women play down there in the Gulf South Conference tournament. The
Lions would shoot 42.4% in the win over Valdosta State. Just some of the highlights again, we shoot 8 3-pointers out of 24, 20 of 25 from the free throw line, led by Theron Jenkins, 24 points. 3 in double digits. Warwick Master would have 16, 12 for Keenan Jackson, his career high as well. Let's switch gears, but still talk a little basketball here. Other things going on around campus. We got a show on Tuesday. We'd love to kind of cross-promote. Folks want to listen to it on 93.9 The Score on the UNA Lions Sports Network. Originates from Gallatin University Center on campus. It's called Talking Basketball with this guy and Coach Terry Fowler, 2 great personalities. We do it from 11 to noon on Tuesdays, and we have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun with it. I like the fact that we're at the Gallatin Center, incorporate the students and get them involved with it, because that's what we're here for, is the students, and it's fun to be involved with that. We're going to have our champagne brunch on Saturday, and we've got a game against Concordia coming up on Tuesday, so maybe we can highlight the Concordia game at the radio show.
The students being there, they get to compete for prizes. So we have a double basketball net. The coaches take on a student. You guys at best get to walk away with bragging rights. The students, win or lose, get to walk away with prizes, including T-shirts and free food and yogurt at Frostbite and Montague's, one of the proud sponsors of UNA Lion Athletics. So a great win over Valdosta State. Champagne brunch going on. We're right in the thick of things, though. The Gulf South Conference, the way it's all shaping up, Delta State, Valdosta State, anybody can do anything right now. It looks like Christian Brothers is on top of things.
Christian Brothers is on a roll. They're doing a great job, and somehow we've got to figure out a way to get back up there on top.
We'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the show, Inside UNA Basketball.
Thank you for watching Inside UNA Basketball. Please join us again next Sunday at 11:30.